Hey there, readers and folks alike. My name is Amber, and today is the 24th of January, Saturday, 2026. Today I'm going to be starting a series where every 2 weeks on a Saturday I'll discuss a book I've recently read or I've read in the past. So, the point of this series is to encourage everyone, even older people or even younger people, 14, 15, all the way to 20, and people in their mid 20s or something to read books, read novels, and be interested in reading and form a sort of an army for reading. And it's also a way for me to build my confidence, speaking on stage or on camera or something or during interviews. And my confidence is really low. So if you're on Instagram, make sure to follow along, and if you're on YouTube, make sure to subscribe. This video will be posted both on Instagram and on YouTube. So today, the book I'm discussing is this one, White Nights of Fyodor Dostoevsky. I think that's how you say it. So basically, I really like this book a lot. It starts in St. Petersburg during the summer, where the narrator is speaking is a young man who spends his nights wandering through the city, reflecting on his isolation, longing for belonging somewhere. Like you want to belong somewhere, right? Despite the city around him, it's bustling and there's people, he feels invisible. Of course, it's relatable to me and some other people. So he feels like he's invisible, like a ghost in the crowd. Begins to see the streets and buildings and canals as companions, imagining them reacting to his presence, which is really, uh, which is his way of coping with his loneliness, I guess. So the story, it basically unfolds over a few nights, several nights, which I think each are marked by encounters and conversations that slowly draw the young man, the narrator, out of his inward-looking world. And central to the narrative is his interaction with a young woman he meets unexpectedly. Basically, he's like walking around the city and looking at buildings and stuff. And he meets a woman by the bridge, and they meet for 4 nights in the book in total. So they they like talk, and you know it's timid and what do you say? It's it's filled with timidity and curiosity, right? So it's filled with timidity and curiosity and the cautious excitement of opening up to another person, because I guess they've never opened up to another person about stuff before. So don't mind, you're a little sick right now, so I'm gonna need breaks. Yeah, I have a blocked nose. Moving on, through these conversations, the narrator does is he has the uh, what would you say? He has the ability to confront his own melancholy and introspection while observing how hope and anticipations and emotions shift within fragile human relationships. Right, the city itself carries a symbolic weight. Empty streets, abandoned houses, mirrors the narrator's loneliness. While okay, give me a second. While quiet embankments and canals become spaces where time seems to pause and connection feels possible for him, and seasonal changes, such as people leaving the city for the countryside, serve as the metaphor for him for impermanence, the fleeting nature of human interaction. The novel is actually told in first person. The narrative offers intimate access to the narrator's thoughts, fears, and dreams. And literally, literary devices like personification and symbolic imagery and repetition deepen the emotional tone, which is which is like really relatable to me as I read the book for the first time, because I have thoughts and I have fears and I have dreams, and it was pinpointed in this novel. As a lonely person, you have thoughts that no one really cares about you, and people hate you. It's not like that, and then if you disappear, then no one will care about you. And fears, it, this is all fears and dreams and stuff. The dreams are you wish someone would talk to you and someone would get to know you. So moving forward, the narrator basically calls himself a dreamer. Basically, he spaces out, capturing his imagination, introspection, and social awkwardness. He he self criticizes himself a lot and quiet has quiet longing, which adds philosophical depth to his reflections on life, on love, and on time, and on how he sees these things, how he sees like life, and how he sees love, and how he sees time. So the key themes of White Knights are basically loneliness, isolation, and human connection and tension between isolation, the human desire for intimacy, basically dreams versus reality, and hopes versus impermanence. The blurred line between imagination and lived experience is there, and then there is also the point how hope and impermanence, how moments of closeness are brief but deeply impactful. Like they are short, you know, you meet a friend, and then those moments are going to be short lived, but they're going to be deeply impactful for you or for someone else who is in that friendship, which will uh, form a form of an image in their mind of what a friendship or what a relationship or what human connection should look like. And there's also about self awareness and identity, understanding that who we are versus who we or how we present ourselves. For example, I'm going to be a quiet person, which is who I'm going to be. And then when I meet people, to avoid being weird or being strange, I will not show people that, or I will not present myself as a lonely person, because I think I'll be judged or noticed weirdly or talked about like this dude is so weird, So the emotional tone of White Knights is melancholic, reflective, and quietly hopeful. Basically, that it's about a guy who feels melancholy reflections, like he meets a girl and he doesn't make his move toward the girl, like asking her out or something, and then he reflects on that and he's quietly hopeful that he should have done the thing. And the story relies not on dramatic events but on subtle emotional shifts and psychological depth. Emotional shifts being that um, basically someone who you really liked talking to, and then they suddenly shift, and then they move on to other people, and then you don't mean a lot to them. For example, narrator likes a girl, right? And then he really likes the company of this girl, and then he tells him that he liked another guy who she can't get in contact with. So he tries to send letters to her, and she doesn't respond, and he thinks that he found that guy and she got with him and something like that. Ultimately, White Knights is a meditation on fleeting encounters, loneliness, and the courage it takes to reach beyond oneself. It is a lyrical and introspective work that captures both the magic of the city at night and the in the inner world of a solitary dreamer. Basically, what a solitary dreamer is, he dreams of things that he would not be able to do. solitary means solitude, being lonely. So yeah, it was a really good book. And that's about it for today's episode. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe or follow. And bye bye.